There are many words that come to mind when you think of those who serve: honor, duty, selfless sacrifice, and a role model. Whatever the reason is, it is a commitment to step up and serve, knowing the cost he or she might have to pay. Unfortunately, there are some people that join with other intentions, dark and twisted motives. So before we go into today's story, I post videos about true crime and paranormal and cryptids. If you're into that type of thing, smash that like and subscribe button and hit that bell for all future notifications. Okay, so let's get into today's story. Today's story is located in Okinawa, Japan. It is known for its sandy beaches and laid-back atmosphere. Okinawa has a relatively small population. It's also a destination that has a heavy Western influence from its beach culture and local delicacies. And strangely, spam is a very common food that can be found in Okinawan cuisine, even in sushi. There is a great reason why Western influence is inside Okinawa, as 25% of the island is actually covered by US military bases. And it is no secret that the local people from Okinawa are uneasy about this arrangement, as 60% of their small 460 square meter island is consumed by military presence. This has been a contention between the US and Japan since World War II. And here on this island in Uruma City, we find 20-year-old Rina Shinabukuro. Rina was an office worker with long dark hair and girlish bangs. She stood about 5 feet tall, and when she smiled, she showed off a straight set of teeth. One childhood classmate characterized her as a friendly and good-natured girl, a girl who had been quiet in the classroom but broke out her singing and dancing skills when she hung around with friends. On the evening of April the 28th, 2016, Rina put on her red sneakers and black parka and went out for a walk. Around 8 p.m., Rina texted her boyfriend saying that she was going out for a walk. A river ran through the area she walked. One side was both commercial and residential areas, filled with apartment buildings, restaurants, and fishing shops. The other side was more industrial, with warehouses and smoke shacks, recycling centers, and shipping companies. After a few hours of Rina going out, her messaging app showed that she had read a text from her boyfriend, but she didn't respond. She didn't come home, and she didn't have her wallet. The next morning, her boyfriend reported her missing. Rina's group of friends immediately took to social media asking about their missing friend. And soon enough, speculation started to spread like wildfire in the tight-knit community. Meanwhile, the police worked on a case. They circulated a missing persons flyer, as well as using GPS data to track her last cell phone location, which led to the industrial zone near the river. They surveyed security footage in the area, combing through hundreds of cars caught on camera. The breakthrough came when they brought the owner of a red SUV in for questioning that was acting suspicious during that time frame. Upon further investigation, they discovered that the SUV belonged to a US military serviceman stationed at a military base in Okinawa. That man turned out to be Kenneth Franklin Gadson. Kenneth was an ex-Marine stationed on the island for a few years. The Marine Corps had sent him back to the United States in 2011. After his honorable discharge, he returned to Okinawa in 2014, where he found a job at the Air Force Base working as a civilian contractor at a company that provided internet and cable to the US bases. In addition, he fell in love with a local Japanese woman and got married and had a baby. On May of 2016, only 2 months since the birth of his son, is when Kenneth's SUV was spotted on cameras around the same area and time Rina disappeared. Under police questioning, Kenneth denied anything to do with it. Police seized his car in an effort to conduct their own forensic analysis, but the results would take several days to come back. Kenneth was released from police custody due to no evidence connecting to him to Rina. Now, instead of returning home to his family, he went to a liquor store and bought a 2-liter bottle of whiskey and a large amount of sleeping pills. Attempting to take his own life and failing, he was admitted into a local hospital. After being released, he was rushed back to the hospital after downing 2 more bottles of whiskey that same evening. Now, this type of behavior is reactionary to a situation. Whether it was from guilt or fear, Kenneth wanted to be out of whatever scenario he was slowly falling into. Shortly after his second attempt, results from the vehicle had came back. DNA compared to his car was compared to the DNA found in Rena's home, and they were a match. Under police custody, Kenneth took him to the location where Rena's body was disregarded. When police opened the suitcase, they discovered a decaying body of a woman, which was unrecognizable and partly skeletonized. Later, DNA confirmed that it was the body of Rena. When news broke out, the community was devastated. They had hoped that Rena would be found alive and well. With the discovery of the body, Kenneth had no reason to hold back the details on what happened that night. Kenneth stated as he was driving around, he spotted a woman walking alone. Then he proceeded to pull over and follow her on foot, where he hit her with a metal rod and dragged her to a wooded area, where he proceeded to sexually assault her. During the assault, Rena was crying and yelling for help. To silence her, he stabbed her multiple times till she was no more. He then went back to his car and pulled out a black suitcase and loaded her inside, then put the suitcase back in his SUV and drove off, eventually stopping on the side of a quiet road, throwing the suitcase as far as he could underneath the underbrush. Afterwards, he got back in his SUV and headed home to spend time with his wife and newborn. Kenneth told police that he always fantasized about dark things. In fact, the reason of joining the military in the first place was the chance to have the opportunity to kill someone. Abducting and restraining women before carrying out his desires was a long-running fantasy. And on that night, seeing Rena, the situation was perfect to carry out his darkest desires. He actually thought it was fate. While the death penalty was pursued, the judge sentenced him to life in prison. Now, Okinawa has been debating the hosting of the U.S. military due to the notable amount of growing crimes committed by U.S. personnel. The first of which happened back in 1995 when 3 U.S. Marines kidnapped and assaulted a 12-year-old girl.
This is not how we want the country to be. We are your friends, your neighbors, but we want base to be gone.
So what do you think? Share your thoughts and comments below. Again, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button and turn on all notifications. And until next time,